Well, in this lesson, our objectives are to create a small list for the first few multiples of a whole number, and then we'll use that list to find the least common multiple. That is, we'll find the smallest number which shows up on the list for both of the two numbers we work with. Now, before we start working on these things, we have two different techniques we can use. You can repeatedly add over and over and over, so is that a skill that you have? Or can you multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Either way, those two things are designed so that we can create the row on a multiplication chart. Even if it's a number that's big enough that it's not on a multiplication chart. And so, our first thing we want to do is to create a list for the first 10 multiples of 4. And so that's telling us that we need to have 10 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And of course they're called multiples for a reason, because they're multiplied. 4 multiplied by 1. 4 multiplied by 2, 4 multiplied by 3, multiplied by 4, oh, I wrote them down wrong, multiplied by 4, multiplied by 5, multiplied by 6, multiplied by 7, multiplied by 8, multiplied by 9, and multiplied by 10. There. Now we'd like to do the same thing. Create a list for the first 10 multiples of 6. Now the last one we did with multiplication. Multiplied by 1, multiplied by 2, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 4, and so forth. Well, we can create this list with multiplication. We can also create it with repeated addition. Start with 6, and then what's 6 plus 6?
36. 12.
What's 12 plus another 6?
18.
18 plus 6?
30.
Plus 6?
36.
Plus 6?
42.
Plus 6?
48.
Plus 6? 4 plus 6? Plus 6? And some of the people in class have got their multiplication charts handy. They're just reading straight off the multiplication chart. It's not a problem to do that. We've created our list. This one's all set. We can create these lists with addition. We can create them with multiplication. We can use tools to get them. It doesn't matter which way you do. You choose to do it. Okay, what about your list of multiples of 10? Yeah, that's an easy one. Just repeatedly adding over and over. There's our first 10 multiples of 1. What about your 10 multiples of 3? Now, it's worth noting that I've been writing these out horizontally. That's just that's just the way I prefer to do it. I like using one line instead of a bunch. But there's absolutely nothing wrong if you chose to start writing it vertically. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and here's where I'm going to stop for a second. Let's say that you're having a hard time remembering the next one. You could always just go off to the side and scratch first and say add 3, do the carryover, and then continue. It's not like you have to have these things completely created or just master memorized. It's easier if you have them memorized. Oh, I wrote that down wrong. 24, 27, and 30. Okay, 10 multiples of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Of course, this is built entirely on your ability to repeatedly add numbers over and over and over. For the most part, people find the repeated addition method of creating the lists easier than multiplication, especially for smaller numbers. Well, we've been creating these lists so that we could find the least common multiple. So we'll start off and say, list out the multiples of 4. Well, we already did these. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. Those were the first 10. And if I go through and do the first 10 for the number 6 as well, we already had these, so that's one of the reasons why we can go through them so quick. Alright, we've got our list of multiples. The name here tells us exactly what we're searching for. We have CM for a common multiple. Looking at it, I want you to identify all the numbers that are showing up on both lists.
12, 24,
12, 24, 36. Each of these are examples of common multiples. Yes, 48 would be the next common multiple if we continued our list for 4. There are going to be infinitely many common multiples. They will never stop. We could keep going. 48, 60, 72, 84, 96. All of those are common multiples, and we could keep going farther and farther and farther. Or further, I should say, not farther. We are not interested in creating a list of all the common multiples. We want only the smallest one. And as we noted, 12 is the smallest common multiple we had, so our answer was 12. We're done. It's also worth noting, you don't have to have a list that keeps going and going and going really, really, really far. Your list only needs to be as big as it takes to find them. Instead of doing a long list of 10, start off with a smaller list of maybe 5 or 6. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. There are my first 6. Maybe our least common multiple's in there, maybe not. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Do we have a common multiple? Yeah. We have the common 15. We're done. What about here? 12 and 40. It's going to be a little bit tougher now that we have some bigger numbers. And so sometimes people like to just put them down and say 12 plus 12 gives me 24. Plus 12 is 36. Plus 12 is 48. Plus 12 gives me 60. Plus 12 is 72. And so right now, just by repeatedly adding 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, and 72. That's how far we've gotten so far. We'll also have to create our list for 40. 40 plus 40, 80. 80 plus 40, 120 plus 40. Okay, and so here's where we are so far. Have we found a common multiple? Not yet. Our lists aren't big enough. We have to keep going. Well, obviously, we don't need to keep going for 40. We're already up to 160. We've got to pick the smaller number then and keep going. So I'll grab my 72 and keep adding 12s. There's 84. Plus 12 more is 96. Plus 12 more, that's 108. 12 more gets us to 120. So we had 84, 96, 108, 120. And finally, we found one that works. There's 120 matching 120, so our least common multiple is 120. We can create these lists just by repeatedly adding. about 11 and 33? Doesn't take very long at all for us to find them here. We've got that common 33. So we're done. Every once in a while, students will think, because of problems like we had here, sometimes students notice, well, I could just take 3 times 5 and it's going to give me 15. I'm just going to multiply. And multiplying them will always give you a common multiple, but a lot of times it won't give you the smallest one. For instance here, if we took 4 times 6, that would have been 24. And 24 was on our list of common multiples, but it was not the smallest one of 12. Same thing here. If we took 12 times 40, that would have been 480. 480 will be one of the common multiples, but it was not the smallest common multiple of 120. Don't think that multiplying them is going to give you the least common multiple. It usually won't. Now lastly, why would we care about this stuff? Well, how could you use this? Well, let's say you decide to go to Taco Bell and you're going to go buy some 6-pack in a pound. How many of those 6 taco packages will you have to have for 4 people? That way you have no tacos left over. Well, it's a situation where we need the least common multiple of the 6 for how many tacos are in each package and how many people are going to go eat. Because we want to know how many tacos we need. We don't want to have a situation where we start giving saying, okay, champion, here's half a taco. We want everybody to have a whole number of tacos. That way they're all fair and even. Well, this is a situation where we need to go and create our least common multiple, same way that we did before. When we do this, we find the least common multiple is 12. Does that mean we have to go buy 12 packages of tacos? I sincerely hope that you don't go buy 12 packages of tacos, because that's going to give you 72 tacos. I don't know too many people who want to go for a group of 4 people eating 72 tacos. You got to be really hungry. This piece is not the number of packages, it's the number of tacos that you're going to get. And when they come in a package of 6, just taking that 12 divided by 6, you'll have to get 2 packages of 6. That way everybody will get the same amount. Also, how many tacos does each person get? 12 tacos split up amongst 4 people will give you 3 tacos for each person. What if you wanted 4 tacos? Then you're going to have to buy more tacos. And there won't be even for everyone. Now please note, when we did this division, we could have also got this just by counting how far down it is. On the 6, for how many packages do you have to get? 1, 2. We needed 2 packages. How many tacos does each person get? Well, for the number of people, that's 1, 2, 3. Everybody would get 3 tacos. We could get these answers by division. We could get them by counting. It doesn't really matter which way you do it. It's just a matter of preference for which one you think is easier. That's really all that we have. Our objectives for this lesson: create a list. Create a list of multiples. And with that list of multiples, find the smallest number, that is the least number, that is common to both lists. And we can do that with a word problem. We can do it with just a regular problem that's not built in context.